Good morning and welcome to our webinar on IPL performance for the month of March. This month has been a very eventful month wherein we saw a lot of happenings in terms of the market growing very well at an overall level. And also we had some interesting events like loss of Empagliflozin patent or Mounjaro launch. So we'll be touching on these interesting topics to some extent in this webinar today. So first, we will be discussing the impact of empagliflozin going off patent, how it has impacted the market, how the market dynamics have changed. We also will briefly touch upon the Mounjaro launch. How does the anti-obesity market look now? We also will look at our normal section of the IPM therapy performance, growth drivers, top 40 corporates, top 40 brands, and key takeaways from today's webinar. So let us first look at the empagliflozin off patent impact on the market. So even before going to that section, if I just look at the overall empagliflozin market, how big is the market today? The market is close to 748 or almost a 750 crore market, with planes contribute to almost 50%, 45 to 50% of the market at a value level as well as quantity. Now, for us to have a very precise understanding of the market, I have taken quantity and not units. The meaning of quantity is counting units of tablets, so actual tablets consumed. So if you look at the empagliflozin market, it is the plain empagliflozin, which is almost 45% of the value and the quantity market today. Now, empagliflozin, it has shown a little decline over the past few months, probably because linagliptin had dapagliflozin had lost its patent. That's the reason why there may have been some amount of decline. Next, we go to empagliflozin. How many brands exist in the market? Existed in the market for so many months, so many years post-launch. So the molecule is an innovator molecule from Boehringer Ingelheim. And when they entered the country, they entered in partnership with Lupin. So both of them had brands in the planes as well as the combination segment. So Boehringer entered the market with Jardiance, Glyxambi and Jardiance Met, whereas Lupin entered the market with Juptulio, Azadio and Juptulio Met. While these were not just the 6 brands that existed in the market, there were many more which entered in the market even before the molecule went off patent. So Torrent, MSN, Cipla, DRL, Eris, they also came with some brands in the market along with Boehringer and Lupin. In fact, Torrent and Cipla in the years 2024 and 2020 respectively, they also had a agreement with Boehringer Ingelheim to launch these molecules officially under their brand names. Now, this was just about, how did the market look before the products went off patent. Now let us look at how the market looks after the product went off patent. So once this is month 1. So this is how the market looks in March 25 after empagliflozin has lost its patent. So today the number of brands are significant in each of the molecules and the number of companies. So if I were to remove the overlap, there are close to 86 brands in the market and almost 19 companies that have started featuring in the empagliflozin planes and combinations market. Now, this is what has got liquidated. So this is secondary sales, the goods that have moved from the stockist to the retailer. Probably there may be many more brands that may be still at the stockist end. Yet, there may be promotional campaigns that may go on. And in month 2, it is possible that we may capture many more brands and many more companies in this market. But typically what we have seen is it is the first mover advantage that makes the brand make it big. So whatever companies or brands that have got launched in month 1, they would be the ones which would take away major market share or major pie in this branded generic segment. Next, we look at the value and unit trend of the empagliflozin market. So what I have done is I have taken the last 24 months value trend, and it's not unit trend, it is quantity trend. So I have taken the last 12 months value and quantity trend of the market, empagliflozin market, and we have looked at how does the trend look. Okay, so on an average, if I see, the market has shown a sales of almost 29 to 30 crore on a monthly basis. And for the month, it has gone down slightly for the empagliflozin plain. Whereas if I were to look at empagliflozin plus linagliptin, the dip has been significant. Whereas for empa plus met, there is a slight dip. Now, this is the value dip in the market. But now look at the quantity pickup that has happened in the market in this month when the product went off patent or when the molecule went off patent. On an average sale of, say, around 6,000 units, 6,000. It is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 62 lakh units per 62 lakh quantity per month. It has actually gone to 78 lakh quantity per month. So in this month, when the product has gone off patent, the pickup has been significant. Now the dip in this market value, along with the sharp increase in the units, it is a strong indicator of the price differential that has been seen in the branded generics against the innovator. So what we have done is we have taken on an average across all these molecules. We have looked at before patent loss, what was the average MRP per tablet, and after patent loss, what is the average MRP per tablet, and what is the average drop in price. So over here, there may be 10 milligram, 25 milligrams. So I have not kept those 10 and 25 milligrams separately because mota moti, the value is more or less the same, or the MRP per tablet, they are very close by. That's the reason why I did not do a very differential in 10 and 25 milligrams in terms of pricing. But if you want a detailed analysis, my team is definitely there to help you out, and data is already released. So you have access to this data. So if you see before patent loss for plain empagliflozin, the price per tablet was somewhere between 60 to 70 rupees, which has now gone to rupees 5 to 50 rupees, which is almost an 85% drop in price. Empa plus Lina, almost 80% drop in price, and Empa plus Met, almost 73% drop in price. Now, this drop in price is something which makes this product more affordable and more reachable for the masses. Now, Empa plus Sita, Empa plus Lina plus Met, these combinations did not exist before the patent loss. That's the reason why I don't have any calculation in average drop in price. Then we looked at how many players, these 19 players which have entered the market, what is their strategy? So many of them have followed a multi-brand, multi-division strategy to have a strong share of voice so that they can grab a significant market share. So what I have done over here, these are the total 86 brands and these are the companies that have captured. We have looked at the average number of brands that each company has in this market today. Besides Boehringer and Lupin, which were the initial players in the market, we see Torrent with almost 13 brands in the market today. And with these 13 brands for the month of March, it has grabbed close to 6% value market share and close to 13% quantity market share. Similarly, other players which have managed to grab a significant quantity market share are Intas with close to 9%, Mankind close to 8%, Eris close to 4% quantity market share. Now over here, I would rather focus on the quantity market share because as we have seen in the previous slide, the price differential is huge. There is almost 70 to 85% drop in the average price as compared to what was seen with the innovator brands. So if you see many of the companies, they have come out with several brands, probably in several divisions of within the corporate. Then we also looked at what is the impact of the empagliflozin patent loss on other SGLT2 and DPP4 inhibitors market. So here we have taken the plain SGLT2 and the SGLT2 plus metformin. We have taken a monthly trend. We have not taken a MAT trend because in MAT we will not understand the impact. But monthly trend, now dapagliflozin after it lost its patent, it had close to 86-87% market share. But if you see in terms of quantity. But now the market share has gone from 87 to 83 and empagliflozin quantity market share has moved from 10 to 14%. Of course, while the quantity has increased since the value or the price per tablet has gone down significantly, I don't see an improvement. In fact, in terms of value, it has dipped slightly. Similarly, with the SGLT2 plus metformin market, for EMPA plus metformin, the market share, the quantity market share has moved from 9% to 12% in the month of March, whereas value is almost similar or a slight dip in value that we see. We also looked at some other combinations where we have SGLT2 plus DPP4 inhibitor combination, the EMPA plus linagliptin combination. The market share has moved from 8 to 12%. EMPA plus CETA, it has just come in the market, so it was not there. So the market share is around 2%. Then coming to the Empa plus Lina plus Metformin, a gradual pickup is seen in this market since it is completely new that has come in the market. But net if you see, because of the Empagliflozin going off patent and so many branded generics existing in this market today, there is a significant pickup even in the existing SGLT2 plus DPP4 inhibitor segment or other combinations of SGLT2, DPP4 or metformins. This was about the empagliflozin. If I were to just summarize, empagliflozin off-patent opportunity has been voraciously grabbed by many players in the Indian pharma market. Almost 70 to 80% price drop is seen in the branded generics versus innovators. Many corporates have followed a multi-brand, multi-division strategy to ensure higher share of voice and rapid gain in the market share. While March 25 data shows a presence of 86 brands and 19 companies in this segment, the successive data sets may capture some more launches in this attractive opportunity. Our next section, we move to the Mounjaro launch, which is again captured well by PharmaTrack audit for the month of March. So Eli Lilly has launched Mounjaro, its revolutionary once-a-week injection in the anti-obesity market. Priced at rupees 3,500 per injection, it seems to be a very affordable option for the Indian masses. Other products which are readily available in the Indian market today are Rybelsus, Trulicity and Applevent. So basically these are available in the market and quite popular in fight against obesity. Whereas Wegovy and Ozempic, the semaglutide injectable, may be available in the Indian market soon. However, some of the Indian masses do import these brands and it's a typical brand which is used by many of the page 3 artists. Also, while several molecules are available in the anti-obesity market, it is the semaglutide from Novo that has propelled the growth of this market. In fact, if you see semaglutide, it was launched in Jan 22 and it's almost a 400 crore market today. It occupies a value market share of close to 70%. In fact, if you see, the market has almost quadrupled in the last 5 years. The market was 133 crore in March 21 and today it's almost a 600 crore market today. Also, if I were to look at the mode of action, so typically this is something which is done and dusted and talked by almost all the forums. But then we thought about most of the looking at the mode of action as well of these drugs. Most of the drugs act by regulating certain processes that make one feel satiated for a longer time. Hence, clubbing the medication with lifestyle modification becomes of utmost importance because once you stop the medication, the regulation of certain processes stops. So if I look at semaglutide, it targets the brain centers that regulate appetite, especially after eating, which may help you to eat less. It slows down how quickly the stomach empties, which makes you feel full longer. Liraglutide, it causes a glucose-dependent stimulation of insulin secretion, reduction in plasma glucagon concentrations, delayed gastric emptying, appetite suppression via neuronal pathways, and decreased hepatic glucose production. Dulaglutide works by helping to make one feel full after a meal. People more likely to lose weight include those with higher starting weight and longer duration of gastrointestinal side effects. Orlistat promotes weight loss by decreasing the amount of dietary fat absorbed in the intestine. And tirzepatide, which is our latest Mounjaro, it works by mimicking GLP-1 and GIP hormones that are naturally secreted by the intestine after a meal, which prompts insulin secretion. It also reduces appetite by slowing down the time it takes the stomach to empty and interacting with areas in the brain harboring GLP-1 receptors to signal satiety. So net, if I were to see, the drugs are really good. They help in reducing weight, but then just dependence on these drugs should not help. So to summarize this section, launch of Mounjaro marks increased acceptance of revolutionary products in the weight loss cases. Rybelsus has propelled the growth of this market. Mounjaro is expected to supplement and accelerate this growth further. Increased instances of lifestyle diseases coupled with willingness and capacity to pay makes anti-obesity segment a fast-paced growth segment in India. Medication coupled with lifestyle changes, however, are a must for long-term impact of this treatment. Next, we go to our section where we look at the IPM therapy performance. So if I were to look at the IPM therapy performance for the month of March, the market has shown a healthy growth of 7.5% value growth and unit growth of around 1.8%. Among the top therapies, the cardio, gastro, vitamins, and neuro CNS therapies are the ones which have shown a very good value growth. In fact, along with a good value growth, gastrotherapy has also showed an excellent unit growth. Coming to the growth drivers, if I look for the month of March, the growth is mainly price driven and to some extent a new introduction driven. If I look at growth drivers for the month, in majority of the therapies, price has driven the growth. And also in cardiac, anti-infectives, gastro, volume growth is positive. In diabetes, nutritionals, respi, pain, and derma, among the top therapies, volume growth seems to be a concern. Coming to the top 40 corporates, the top 20 corporates, they contribute to more than 50% of the Indian pharma market. So they definitely drive the market to a great extent. Among the top players, Sun Pharma has shown an excellent double-digit growth of close to 15%. Such a high growth at such a high pace is really, really commendable. After Sun Pharma, it is Intas, Torrent, Lupin, who have also ended up showing a very good double-digit growth. Companies showing a very encouraging unit growth are Sun, Mankind, Intas, and Torrent. Coming to the next set of companies, companies with rank 21 to 40, Sanofi has shown a very good double-digit unit growth. FDC, Laranon, Corona, Nutricia, these are the companies which have shown a robust value as well as unit growth. Himalaya, P&G Health, and Bayer have shown a very good and robust value-driven growth. Coming to the top 40 brands, Augmentin and Glycomed GP remain at number 1 and 2 position respectively at a MAT figure. However, for the month, it is PAN which is at a number 2 position and Leo 52 which has moved to the number 3 position. Augmentin remains at number 1 position even for the month of March. So also if I were to look at the next 20 brands between the rank 21 to 40, FDC, Electral from FDC continues to show that momentum of double-digit value as well as unit growth as summers peak. It is again the season for Electral, and we expect this, robust growth to continue. Pantop from Aristo has also shown an encouraging double-digit growth, and Bicosules from Pfizer continues to show this very good growth in terms of value, almost 30% value growth, and a very good double-digit unit growth. To summarize, the IPM has shown a value growth of close to 7.5%, with all the therapies showing a positive value growth. New introductions and price growth have driven the market growth for the month of March. For the month of March, majority of the top players have shown an encouraging value growth, and Augmentin and Glycomed GP continue to retain their leadership position at a MAT level. However, for the month, PAN and Leo 52 have moved to the number 2 and number 3 position respectively, while Augmentin continues to stay at the number 1 position even for the month of March. Thank you for joining us today for this exciting session wherein we could take you through a crisp analysis of how the market looks and how we have captured the market post empagliflozin loss. We have really captured a good number of brands and we expect a better capture in the consecutive months as the products start picking on the pen of the doctors. Thank you for joining us today, and with this we end our session for the day. Thank you so much. Have a very nice week ahead.